What's up guys, this is Miasma and we just got some new cards announced. I mean, one of them, or at least two of them, are completely unrelated. It's not even Doom of Dimensions, it's a collab with Nike, and yeah, we're going to be checking all these cards out in this video. It shouldn't be too long, but anyways, before we go any further, as always, you know the drill, smash the like and subscribe button. Okay, so this one is Trap of the Poisonous Scorpion. I think this is a reference to like the manga, so I can't really get it because I didn't really read it for obvious reasons, but whatever. Normal trap: when an opponent's monster declares an attack, destroy that monster, then inflict 300 damage to your opponent. Obviously, it's not a real effect. And then wins a victory equip spell. The equipped monster gains a 300 attack, also it becomes wind. Obviously, it sucks, but look at how badass it looks. It's absolutely gorgeous. Looks simply beautiful. Honestly, both of them look beautiful, but it's really interesting how this one is in English and then this one is like Japanese. I don't really get it, but you just let me know which one you prefer. Now we've got a new card in Doom of Dimensions, VARefar, the Kick Deity. Whatever this is, level 11 Earth Fiend, 21 and then 8. When your opponent activates a monster effect on the field that targets a monster control, or when your monster is targeted for an attack by opponent's monster, quick effect, you can special summon this card from your hand, then you can reveal one card in your hand to your opponent, then apply this effect to that opponent's monster based on the type of card revealed on that opponent's monster. Okay, so if you're revealing a monster, you change the opponent's monster to defense, and then if you're revealing a spell, the attack of your opponent's monster becomes doubled, which is really stupid. And then if you're revealing a trap, you banish your opponent's monster. Okay, yeah, this is really bad. It's honestly just not good at all. Yeah, don't play this card. Alright, so a new Sphinx monster in Doom of Dimensions. Chakravartin Sphinx, I think. Level 8 Earth Rock. Searchable by, what's his face? With the battle position of a monstrous change, you can banish one spell from your grave, a special summon this card from your grave or hand. Alright, so that's, kind of cool. And then during your main phase, you can set a Book of Tayu and or a Book of Moon from your deck and or graveyard. This is actually kind of interesting, I'm not gonna lie. I definitely do like this. And then you can keep looping the first and the second effect over and over. So obviously if you're playing like a guru deck, this card could be great for you. The only issue is those decks that can take full advantage of this card suck. That's like the small little drawback. And then once per turn of the battle position of another monster's change, you can target a card on the field, return it to the hand. Even on your own field, so you can bounce back like your Subterra field spell over and over, and every single turn you get a search with the final battle. Sorry, is it Final Battle? Whatever, the Subterra field spell, as well as Guru, so you can get double searches every single turn. Honestly, like this card, as a card, I think it's great. I think it's fantastic. But it's great in decks that are not great. So that's the only thing that I really have to say. But yeah, honestly, fantastic card, not gonna lie. Okay, so this one is a Tri-Headed Behemoth, level 4 Wind Dragon. So this is obviously a reference to the, Twin-Headed Behemoth. I think that's the name. Anyways, first effect is once per turn, and then second effect is once per duel. Again, we've seen this before. If a face-up card or cards you control is a throwback card effect, even during the damage step, you can special summon this card from your hand. Okay, I mean, it's not bad. It shouldn't be too difficult to trigger. And then if this card is normal or special summon, you can activate this effect during the end phase of this turn. Special summon a wind monster from your grave, but its attack and defense become 1000. This card would have been broken if the Windbearer statue was a thing, so you can play like a mill deck, and then you just mill a bunch, and then you revive back the Windbearer statue, but it revives back on the end phase, which is really like the only drawback, and obviously the Windbearer statue is banned. Yeah, this is not really viable to me. At the very least, it's like way too reactive. It's not that it's reactive, it's like it doesn't do anything on its own, so I don't know. It might see a tiny little bit of play, but I don't really think so. Tao the Chanter, level 2 Earth Illusion Tuner. It's really nice to finally have an illusion that is a tuner. I don't even think there might be like one out there, but can't really think of like too many, huh? I don't even know if there is one, actually. Let me double check. Illusion Tuner. Yeah, this is the first Illusion Tuner main deck monster, because the only other Illusion Tuner is a Poplar of the White Forest. So yeah, this means that with your level 6 Apprentice Illusion Magician, you can actually get access to like a level 8 Synchro, which is not too bad. So second effect once per turn, if this card battles a monster, neither can be destroyed by that battle. Obviously, this is the typical illusion effect. And then if you take battle or effect damage, you can special summon level 3 or higher illusion monster from your hand or grave. Or if you took 2000 or more damage, you can special summon it from the deck or extra deck instead. It's really just pack filler at this point, because this is not really like a competitive effect. I'll take it, just because of the fact that it's a tuner. This is like, the only thing that really matters to me. This card, oh, this is really interesting. No, Cerzebuth. This is like a combination of like Cerberus and then Beelzebub. Look, I don't really know how to say it, but Limargia of the Ebon Irons? What is this name? Obviously, it's not a real word. It's made up. It's a portmanteau, but still, whatever. It's still really complicated for no reason. Anyways, rank 7 Dark Beast, weak stats, 2+ level 7 monsters, Third effect once per turn, gains 700 attack for each material attached to it. Usually you're not gonna be summoning this monster with like 3 or 4 level 7 monsters. That makes no sense. So yeah, it's gonna gain like 14, meaning that it's gonna have like 2100 attack. Once per chain, when a normal or quickly spell card is activated, this is once per chain, not once per turn. In quick effect, you can attach that card on the field to this face-up card, and if you do, this card is unaffected by the activated effect. This is actually really interesting. I can see this card getting to like a lot of like a huge attack stat. It shouldn't be too difficult either. Yeah, I don't really know like what purpose it necessarily achieves. And then the final effect, during the end phase, you can set one spell attached to this card. Imagine playing this against like Sky Striker, and then they try to like Widow Anchor you, or like... Actually, this can be a really nice interruption, but it's only like for normal quick play spell card. That's the issue. It would have been so broken if it was just like any spell card overall, especially if it's not once per chain. It really does remind me of a Rise Art. First of all, it's a rank 7, so, you know, it's pretty much like the same concept. But also, it attaches like infinitely, pretty much. And yeah, like you can actually benefit off of the Xyz material underneath. Yeah, honestly, this is like a really cool card. I definitely do like it. So yeah, I mean, sure, it's a nice card. Like, again, maybe like in Sky Striker, against Sky Striker, you can just keep looping like your Widow Anchor, Engage, whatever, over and over infinite times. But then again, like you do need like 2 level 7 monsters for this. I don't really think this is the kind of card that Dragon Ruler would want to play, just because like their own Dragon Ruler Xyz are better. And then I can't really think of a deck that is necessarily trying to make rank 7s too much right now. If there's ever a deck that could actually make rank 7s, I don't know if this is necessarily going to like be more relevant than Draco Sack, but without a shadow of a doubt, I consider this a good card, definitely. I don't think it's like insane, but it doesn't suck whatsoever. Miasma Necromancer, linked to Dark Spellcaster, and it does not point down, it only points left and right, and you need 2 monsters, including a Dark Spellcaster for it. Dark Spellcaster is pretty broad, actually. There's a lot of Dark Spellcasters out there. First and second effect once per turn, if this card is link summoned, you can add a level 5 or higher Dark Spellcaster monster from grave to the hand, and if you do, you cannot activate the effects of cards with its name for the rest of the turn. Let me actually... You can at least still special summon the monster, so if it's like an inherent summoning condition, it's not too bad. So if it's like Diabellstar, at the very least, you can still re-summon Diabellstar and then like link climb. But, I mean, this has to be decent, right? I mean, I think it makes sense that we have something like this when there's like new Dark Magician support. I don't really know if there's necessarily like another reason, but let me actually just check real quick like the effect monsters that are good potentially to like recycle back. Exodius is like an inherent summoning condition, so you can like summon it and then shuffle back like your graveyard again. It's not too bad. You can recycle back Imseti, which doesn't really do any... Actually, hold on a second. Yeah, no, you can't activate it. That would have been so nice. Imagine... Even if it said, like, or if, like, if the drawback was, like, the other way around, like, you can't special summon the monster, but you can still use the effect. Yeah, a lot of cards are, like, activated effects that also summon themselves. That's a little unfortunate. This could be good in Endymion, potentially, or, like, the Yugi deck with Dark Magician, the Magician of Black Magic. Not really. Yeah, it activates its effect, and it special summons itself. Astrograph Sorcerer, like I said, Diabellstar. Yeah, Spiral Master Plan, that's not gonna happen. Definitely not. The Dark Magician Girl, the Magician's Apprentice, yeah, that's also not really... I mean, you can still summon it, I guess. It doesn't look, like, too easy to, like, turn on. And I guess, like, if you... I was gonna say, like, shift her, but it doesn't really count unless, like, you link off, like, a token, and then you don't have, like, any other card in your grave. And then, like, you can shift her again on, like, the next turn. It's really not, like, viable. Mind on Air, it's, I guess, a floodgate against Vanquished Soul. It's not really... you know, a real thing. And then you can send one spell trap from your hand or field to the grave immediately after this effect resolves, and normal summon one spellcaster monster. I mean, this is not a bad effect at all. Honestly, it really is pretty good. I mean, it's pretty much like a Nightmare Goblin if you're playing a spellcaster deck. So again, in like a Pendulum deck, it could definitely be pretty solid. Because, you know, it's very easy to like search extra cards, but your Pendulum Summon, it's not even like your main action anymore. Because the Pendulum deck right now is not the same as the Pendulum deck from back in the days where you were really just setting up a big Pendulum Summon, and then you were summoning like 5 from the extra deck. But obviously with Master Rule 4 and Master Rule 5, it's not really the case anymore, so... Can't really think of like spells and traps that are very like free to send. Maybe like a continuous spell card after you're done getting advantage with it. Like like with Shining Sarcophagus, for example. You can send it and then extra normal summon for a spellcaster. So that's pretty cool, especially if it's like a decent level 4 or lower. But again, it could also be mined on air, so if you can foolish it and then, you know, extra, like, normal summon it by tribute summoning over this card, it's not too bad. It's not too bad. Like, it shuts down Joe Cool, and then it shuts down every single... yeah, I mean, it shuts down every single Vanquish Soul stuff. So, if like, your opponent doesn't have, like, a reason to, like, run over your thing... Actually, Mine on Air is so weak. Like, the fact that even Mad Love can run over Mine on Air is actually just stupid, but... Whatever. I mean, it's a pretty cool card. I think it's gonna see a little bit of play every now and then in, like, random bullshit combo decks, but this is a very obscure card, like, in every sense of the word, but pretty nice. I like it. Anyways, Apocaries, so this is like a pun on Apocalypse and carries. Never mind, I thought it was like a Apocathera, like, you know, like the potion thing. Anyways, continue spell, once per turn. When this card resolves, place C counters on this card equal to the number of cards your opponent controls, and then you can target a face of monster your opponent controls and remove up to 4 C counters from your field, and then apply this effect to that monster based on the numbers removed. So if you remove 1 C counter, it loses 500. If you remove 2, it change the attack to 0, then 3, negate its effect, and 4, destroy it. So yeah, like, best case scenario is that you negate a monster effect and then destroy the monster, and it is not actually once per turn. It is... actually interesting how if your opponent has like 8 cards on the field, you can target like 2 monsters and then negate them and then destroy them. Only the activation of the card is once per turn, but like then again, your opponent would just negate negate like the activation of this card if he has like 8 cards on the field, or he would do something about it. He wouldn't let you just negate and destroy 2 monsters. It just makes no sense. So obviously there's like board breakers that are significantly better. If this was randomly like a quick effect, it would have been like really interesting, but it's not, so that's a little unfortunate. Card kind of sucks. And then we've got Miss Okiku's... This... I swear to God, I'm actually trying. I'm not trying to be DB Grinder today. These cards' name makes no sense. Miss Okiku's Disrhythmetic. Bruv. Continuous job card. Once per chain, when your opponent activates a card or effect, you can place dish counters on this card equal to the chain link number of this effect, and my brain is already melting. And this card makes no sense. Apply these effects based on the number of dish counters on this card. 9 or less, your opponent cannot target this card with card effects. Also, you cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. That looks like garbage. 10 or more, send this card to the grave. If this card is sent to garbage. Okay, yeah, why would I play a card like this? It's so much time and effort to, like, place the dish counters. All of this just for a mill 10, bro. Just play freaking Needle Bug's Nest. Like, really, like, it's just so much better. It doesn't do anything else. It's a longer to set up Needle Bug's Nest. I mean, I guess in Labyrinth, but even then, like, why would you take 10 years to mill 10 cards in a deck that just doesn't really care too much? I guess Paleozoic, maybe Paleozoic tier, maybe if you really want to push it, but that's like the only application potentially for a card like this. Let's see if everybody else agrees. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, okay, whatever. So yeah, in other words, this card is dog shit. Card's pretty bad. This card's actually really interesting. This card's not too bad for sure. And then this card's a little mid, but it's probably playable. This card's like very good in bad decks, like I said. And then, yeah, no, this card's really shit. Really garbage. And then these cards are the goats. Absolute goated. They just look amazing. Like, you're never gonna play them, but you're definitely gonna have them in your collection somewhere. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys very soon. Peace.